Speaking of high-ranking movies, of course, we have Tanner's pick of the week, that being the 2024 film, Joker French bullshit. Please tell us about it.
Dude, Joker, Folie.
Yeah.
So Joker takes place immediately after Joker, and we're just watching him as he goes on trial for his crimes, and watch him in Arkham Asylum, and we meet Harley Quinn, and they sing some songs together, and then the Joker gets raped, and then he says, you know what, Joker 1 sucked, fuck you, the audience, I'm talking to you. And then Joker gets fucking killed by some person whose face we literally don't even see.
Wait.
The end.
Say your fun fact and I'll get into it.
Fun fact. What did I even... Oh, dude, this is a great one. This is Joaquin Phoenix's first sequel.
Oh.
Of his whole career.
What a hell of a one to pop that cherry on.
Oh,
Tanner,
yeah.
when you say he gets killed by a guy we've had, of a person we've never seen his face, you do realize that's like the kid from halfway through the movie where he's like weirdly obsessed with Joker, right?
That's not him.
Yeah, as soon as I said that, I realized that.
I don't think that's him.
That's definitely him. We see him at the back of the fucking lunch hall. It's 100% him.
Is that also the same guy he kisses earlier in the movie?
No, it's not that guy.
Okay, but
that's a totally different dude.
It's the kid, isn't it? Unless he dies.
It's the kissing guy is not the same dude as the dude that kills him.
Yeah.
Oh, then never mind. I'm thinking, yeah.
But he does show up in the lunchroom, and he starts the song in the lunchroom.
He doesn't even start the song. He's just at the fucking back of the lunchroom, watching him, kind of acting weird.
Yeah, but you get a couple shots of him just staring at the Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't get any actual understanding of what he plans on doing.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Question for the DC expert.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, me being a DC expert does not help with this particular movie, but go ahead.
Why does this movie exist, Tanner? Why did it happen?
It's a very hard question.
Because the first Joker made $1 billion, and so they wanted to try doing that again.
Tanner, it's just a movie that retells the first movie in song, dance, and possibly the worst form of media, law and debate.
There's a lot to unpack there.
There's a lot.
Go for it, dude. I'm all ears. I legitimately, I was telling Jackson this. I was like, man, this movie is telling it's basically retelling what happened in the first movie through a courtroom, which is boring. I wanted to take a nap about halfway through this movie, and they killed the pace by inserting songs after something dramatic happens. And I'm just
and then they killed the Joker.
I don't care that they killed the Joker. That makes it worse. Anyway, continue on to try to explain to me why this movie. Here's what I'll say: this movie
is a subversive masterpiece, Dylan.
I don't know what that means. I'm not gonna say this movie was bad. I'm not gonna rank it low because, unfortunately, the performances and the acting, the production is fine. I think all of it's fine. I think the storytelling and the plot and all this other shit makes no sense. So please, somebody fucking talk me down.
Holy based Batman, he got it.
Right?
My main note on this one is baffling, because that is the primary emotion I was experiencing watching this. And I agree with Dylan. All of the technical aspects of this, fucking, sound design, not the music, lighting, acting, the performances, the sets, it was all good. The performances, it was all good to great, even.
Yeah, it's a competently shot film.
Yeah, but the fucking story and the reason it exists are not here.
Yeah.
They're just missing entirely. I'm I want to save my rant for why this movie exists for the end, so we'll get through everyone else's thoughts first. But to me, my last thought, just so obviously intentionally bad. To me, it seems like this was done on purpose, and I don't think anyone thought this was good when they were making it. I find that hard to believe.
That's the thing,
I think I heard the director just when I've just fucked off in the woods or some shit like that, just for a week when this movie premiered, just so you didn't have to hear anything about it on social media.
That's very funny.
That's the thing, though, is I IMDb'd this because I wanted to see if this technically classified as a musical, which it does, unfortunately. And it's
the music's so bad, dude.
It's either this movie was really good by people's standards or really bad. Luckily, it was either 5-star or 1-star. Luckily, it was more, weighted towards 1-star. There was like hardly anybody in between. I was like, oh, this movie was okay. You either fucking loved this movie and you thought it was peak, or you fucking hated this shit. And I was like, that about makes sense based on what this movie looks like it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so let's touch on the musical aspect here real quick, okay? So, unlike many other people, I was going into this film, not this time, but like when I first started hearing about the film, I was going into it optimistically when I heard that it was going to be a musical, okay? Because like, musicals can be good. The last Joker movie was really solid, so I was gonna go ahead and assume I think that they'll do well by it. But the musical segments were very underwhelming.
Underwhelming?
Yes. Like, the Jokers...
That's a word to use.
They were bad, okay? They weren't good at all.
Like, every time it goes into a musical section, you're like, why are we doing a musical section now?
Yeah.
Like, the Joker as a character is supposed to have a fractured psyche, which should open the door to a lot of creativity during those segments, too. But, like, instead, the only one, only one of them actually uses it for any sort of unique idea. The rest of them are just uninteresting locations with bland visuals. Like, we talked about how, like, the film is competently shot and everything, but it really seems to lack really any style overall.
It's really funny, Nico, because I tried to have that aspect going into this movie, because I was like, oh, it makes sense with, Joker being insane and crazy, it would make sense that, like, these psychological moments playing in his head of, like, musicals, that, like, I was like, this could be a really interesting idea, and it didn't pan out that way at all. I was so disappointed. And if you did say there was one that kind of made sense, I'm wondering if we're thinking of the same one. Is it when he's, like, in the prison, it's like, oh, they're gonna fry you, how did that make you feel? And it turns into, like, a song, but it turns out it was all in his head? Is that the part you were... Damn, that's the part I was thinking of. That part made sense. That's the only time it made sense. I was okay with that. All the other shit, I don't know. It was boring. I was tired. I was sleepy. Let me sleep.
By the way, like, do we get any explanation for, like, why he's, like, not the Joker anymore at the beginning of this film? Because, like, at the end of the last one, he was full of confidence and everything, but then, like, when this one starts, it's like, I'm just some dumb piece of shit now, I guess.
He's taking his medication, bro.
I mean, yeah, maybe taking his medication, then also maybe he legitimately does just feel regret about what he did.
Maybe.
I definitely feel like this was like a gaslight movie, because I did think of the end where it was like, sure, he influenced all the people of Gotham City, but really in return, they're also influencing him, where he was actually purposely trying to get away from that shit and trying to be a better person. But then he's like started this influence. They're like, no, be the Joker. We need the Joker. So they're trying to reel him back in. So it's creating this perpetuating loop where he is the Joker, so it influences them, but they are influencing him to be the Joker, and it just keeps going. And every time he tries to break free, they pull him back. Ergo, Harley Quinn.
I actually think calling it a gaslight movie is, I think you've got something there. It almost feels like the purpose of this movie is to gaslight you into thinking you either didn't or shouldn't have liked the first one.
Yeah.
Dude, I should wear the Santa hat more often. I'm fucking smart as hell now.
You're popping. I can't wait. If you got another zinger on the next movie, like, we might be in a new Dylan age, dude.
Let's fucking go. Santa hat time. Let's go.
Anyways, I said basically nothing this entire fucking review, so shut the fuck up, Tanner. Let me talk for a second.
I was gonna throw it to you just now.
Appreciate it. Anyways, this might be an insanely obvious comment to you guys, but maybe it's not to the audience, and it wasn't to me initially when I watched this movie. But something that actually changed my perspective on it a lot was literally just the fact that Joaquin Phoenix's character, whatever the fuck his name is, I already forgot, doesn't matter. He's not the Joker. That's the whole thing that this movie's trying to say. And
dude, this movie's a masterpiece.
And literally in like the literal sense is that he's creating the concept of the Joker. He is putting that into the mind of the people. And maybe in like if there is a sequel to this movie, we'll see the actual Joker. But he's not the actual Joker. That's why he gets killed off, because he created the idea, but he wasn't the person to take that actual title. He couldn't fucking do it, and he dies. And that legitimately changed a lot, because it's like, why the fuck did he get killed? That doesn't make any sense. That's stupid as shit. But it makes sense now. It makes sense why Harley wasn't super into it, and her character makes a lot more sense to me because of that. It seems like a lot of like setup for something going forwards, which I'm not a fan of that type of thing in movies. The ending still doesn't really sit well with me because of that, but it did explain a lot of things I had questions with. I don't know if you guys had come to that realization as well.
I mean, I know that's what they were going for, but I don't like it at all.
Yeah, I'm engaged in the character of Arthur Fleck, you know? And I'm not engaged with him because he's the Joker. It's because, like, even though he did these, awful things, like, I can have some sympathy for him, and I kind of want to see how things turn out for him, you know?
I do think it is a very weird narrative choice that they have one movie based on a character, and in the second movie, he's throwing away all of the progression he did from that first movie, and then they fucking kill him off.
Exactly.
Presumably to create a new character from, like, the ashes of what he died, kind of like a phoenix, maybe. But, like, it just seems weird to get all that work, destroy it, and then create something new on top of it from, like, the similar kind of idea. It seemed like the directors are just trying to, like, get out of the hole they dug themselves with the first movie so that they can get, like, maybe a cleaner slate with the third one, which is just kind of stupid, and I don't really... It just seems a lot more of, like, they really want to distance themselves from the first movie. Yeah. I'm, like, talking about it and thinking about it now. I'm, like, fucking, like, flip-flopping on it live in person right now.
Dude, the lamest possibility is that, like, this was, like, something passed down from the studio or something. Or, basically, so what I'm thinking here is that, like, at the end of the most recent iteration of The Batman starring Robert Pattinson, at the end of the movie, it hints at the Joker, and I don't think we see him very clearly, but, like, based on when that movie is set and whatever, it couldn't be Arthur Fleck. And so, like, the lamest possibility is that for some reason they decided they wanted Joker to be canon to the new Batman they're starting up, and they were like, well, you gotta somehow, like, pass on the Joker title to someone young enough that could even be possible, which would be... I want to assume that could not be the case, because I feel like I recall interviews...
I'm pretty sure they explicitly said this is, like, not at all tied to, like, the current Batman stuff at all.
Non-canon thing.
Yeah.
But, like, it's also, like, one of the few explanations that makes sense for why they have a younger guy kill him and then carve the Joker smile into his face at the end.
Guys.
Yeah.
Jackson mentioned Harley Quinn, and I do just want to touch on her real quick here.
Yeah, we haven't talked about her. She's half the fucking movie.
She's nothing.
She is, like,
do anything. Why is she here?
She's a very bizarre character. She seems to just be able to get away with whatever she wants, and she faces no repercussions for her actions whatsoever, seemingly. And they never explain the whole mountain thing either. I still don't know what exactly is up with that. Like, people ask, hey, what's up with the mountain, Harley? And she's like, I'm not going to explain. And she stays true to her word. She doesn't. And, like, they're just, like, letting her in the courtroom and, like, sit right there and stuff like that. And it's like, she's Joker's girlfriend. We have to let her be here.
Family.
Right. And is she pregnant? And should we care?
Maybe she's pregnant with the fucking Joker. Hold on, guys.
Oh.
The Joker is a demon, actually. It's a fucking Cthulhu monster that passes on via sex.
Dude, what if Harley Quinn is just a figment of Arthur's imagination, and really
I was also thinking that could be the direction they were trying to go, but I guess I don't specifically recall her interacting with anyone, and also she does kind of pop in and out of places, so
no, they do. They fucking, like, when they're, like, making out in the cage, the guards talking about, like, no physical contact and stuff. She's definitely a part of the movie.
And, like, she gets interviewed by people, too, when the Joker isn't around, so...
He is able to form complex situations and scenarios in his mind, so...
Why would he think about that, though?
I don't know,
so
dude.
lame.
It's just... it's
He's
kind of like what Tanner
crazy
said.
guy.
I was gonna say, when Tanner said she contributes pretty much nothing to this movie, that's, like, my only justification for, like, why that would even be a thought process, is, like, if she didn't really contribute much, maybe she's, like, somehow a figment of his imagination, even if it's not true.
Yeah, no.
I don't know. Trying to make something out of nothing, I guess.
It's not good no matter how you try and interpret it.
This movie, goofy as hell.
It is. I wanted to like it. It was okay for, like, the first maybe half to, like, a third, and then it hit a grinding halt, and I was, like, done with the movie.
Yeah.
Once we got to that first musical section, it was fucking over. And yeah, you guys mentioned it before, but yeah, those musical segments were not good. The songs were not super inspiring. Fucking Joaquin Phoenix cannot sing.
True.
They were rough, and the transitions into them always felt fucking terrible. They felt forced.
Yeah.
They did not feel good. Like this was not a competently made musical at all, and it's very strange for direction to go that way, and also does not put any effort into it. It feels like.
Yeah.
The only the only good aspect of the musical portion was that Lady Gaga is at least a good singer and performer, and that's about all they got going for it.
Dude, she was just fine.
Yeah.
I want to pull out my cork board and start putting up strings about why this was fucking made like this.
Go for it, I guess. How much time do we have?
This does require me to get into culture war and politics bullshit. So,
No!
as
Let's
you may
fucking
all
go.
recall, when the first Joker came out, there was a massive media freak out where they're like, oh my god, they're making an incel movie that's gonna, like, radicalize young men to just shoot people in the streets. And then it came out, and it wasn't that at all. It was, like, an exploration of, like, mental health and fucking, like, labor relations or whatever the fuck. And here's the problem. So, us, normal, intelligent people, heard that narrative, and then we went and saw the movie, and it was a massive fucking success, and we said, oh, okay, it's not this narrative thing. It's, like, something most people can just enjoy, and that's fine. The director, I'm assuming, is like a boomer liberal who only gets his news from, you know, the mainstream media, the corporate media sources. And so he heard this firestorm, and then the movie was a massive fucking success. And when it was a massive success, like I said, we went, oh, okay, it kind of appeals to everyone. It's a good movie. When he heard this narrative and then saw it was a massive success, his brain said, wow, there's so many more incels than I thought there were. And he hates that his movie appealed to them or whatever, even though it appealed to everyone in reality. And so he made this movie specifically just to, like, shit on this hypothetical audience he thought he had with the first one. And all he ends up doing is shitting on everyone because everyone liked the first movie, basically. Does anyone think I'm, like, wildly off base with that?
I think that sounds about right.
Yeah, I don't know too much about it, but, you know, that sounds about right to me, I suppose.
Well, Todd Phillips, thanks for having fucking news brain rot and then ruining a fucking movie for us, I guess. I hope it was worth it. I mean, you made fucking bank, so I guess it was.
All right, so Tanner, do you feel like the Joker 2 has retroactively tainted the first Joker film for you?
I think I'd need to watch it again to know for sure. I'm not the kind of person who perceives movies that way. This is definitely the best chance that that is the case for me. Because, like, most of the time, bad sequels, they might borrow shit from the first one and kind of mess them up, but that shit is still good in the first one. This is a sequel where it's literally pointing at the first movie and saying, hey, this shit sucks. Or like, you know, this fucking sucks, actually, you know? So I think I'd have to watch it again, but I definitely just kind of top of head feel a bit less enthusiastic about the first one after seeing this.
Crazy.
Fantastic. I'll also go ahead and give the film a little bit more praise. I thought that the puddle scene was well done.
I agree.
That was
I
pretty
agree.
funny.
The Gary scene was pretty solid. I really liked his dialogue and performance there because it actually made sense and was kind of emotionally affecting.
Yeah.
Your last name is Puddles? That's a joke.
That's pretty good. Rankings?
Dylan, what'd you rank this one?
Like I said, I'm not gonna rate this movie low because fortunately it was made well and the performances were great. Unfortunately, it made zero fucking sense. I'm gonna throw it my middle of the pack and just throw it at a flat C.
Wow.
Okay.
For me, this film was constantly floating between two ranks as we watched it.
S and
the
F.
ending really solidified it to make me drop it down to the lower one. I'm giving it a D+.
Okay.
I also gave it a D+.
I gave it a flat D. Like,
Damn.
The technical prowess of this, just for me, is completely canceled out by just how empty it is, like, for existing, I guess. I don't know, you know?
I may have to ponder on this one for a while longer. This is gonna have to
Might
go
have
into
to ponder
re-ranks for sure, I suppose. I'll have to think about this more.
And 6 months from now.
What's up with this fucking movie? Anyways, D+ overall. How exciting.
Wow.
Makes sense.
Pretty,
I can't
pretty
be mad
big
about
drop
that.
from the first.
That probably has to be our biggest gap between,
Sequels.
a movie and its sequel.
Yeah, I was curious if we have a stat on that.